What's going on, guys? Welcome to the live stream. This is a early morning live stream. I'm up with the baby, but I did find some more information about the New Orleans terror attack stuff going on. So I just wanted to bring that to light. So as you guys know, I've been calling out the city's incompetence for years and years now, and this just proves that the city is incompetent. They had the tools to pretty much prevent this whole situation. So let me bring this up. Let me get this queued up here. We're gonna go here. All right, check this out.
We will learn from this as we move forward. Every city in America right now is trying to figure out how do they protect themselves. As a matter of fact, they talk about the bollards and barriers. Let's take a look right here. Even if you had bollards and a barrier in the middle, if a car put two of its wheels on the side street right here, there's no fire hydrant, there's no pole, there's no light stanchion to block it. So let's not highlight and pick on people about what wasn't done. Let's make sure we do what's necessary to be done to protect all of our cities and all our people in the future. Think about it. We're spending millions.
Securing Bourbon Street one day after a deadly attack. Workers deploy stronger temporary barricades to stop a future threat because on New Year's Day, New Orleans' existing bollard barricades weren't working. I'm standing in the middle of Bourbon Street, right on top of one of the old broken bollard systems. There are two stationary bollards on either side, but there used to be 4 bollards, 2 stationary bollards, and 2 moving bollards on rails, but they're gone. They were removed because they would not only get stuck open, but also get stuck closed, blocking Bourbon Street to all vehicles, including ambulances and fire trucks.
Why wouldn't they have stuff that worked?
That they were not operable. That's unacceptable. And if they were not operable, there should have been a plan B. There should have been a tow truck. There should have been a fire truck. There should have been some other item or something steadfast there to disallow any vehicles from being able to plow through the crowd.
We combed through documents all the way back to 2017 showing
Nobody
the
wants
city
to be
knew about the
responsible
terror
for
threat,
this.
including this assessment labeling the French Quarter as a risk and target area for terrorism
I
that the
could have told you
FBI has
that.
identified as a
There's
concern
so many
that the city must
vulnerabilities
address.
there.
New Orleans installed that first set of bollards right before the 2018 Sugar Bowl. The sliding mechanisms worked until they got jammed with all sorts of things, including Mardi Gras beads. After the original bollards failed, the city
like
started
the
relying on
kryptonite
these
of New
wedge
Orleans.
barriers that were put in place. They can be dropped to allow delivery vehicles and emergency vehicles in, but they stop a truck or car attack. Yet look at the sidewalk. There's no barricade here, though it does appear they place them near pre-existing obstructions like light poles and fire hydrants. The wedge barriers were intentionally down on New Year's to make sure emergency vehicles could get through.
There are
Only a
other
police
ways to
car
get
was
onto
blocking
Bourbon.
at Canal Street. The attacker whipped his truck around it on the sidewalk and drove nearly 4 blocks down a virtually barrier-free Bourbon Street. Did he know he could get through? Google
Probably.
Street View shows no bollards in 2017, then the original bollards in place in 2018, and then those wedge barriers in 2022. But the city also published the fact its bollards weren't working on the Public Works Department website. Multi-year plans for the ongoing project to replace the bollards are online, complete with a map of where they aren't now and a timeline showing that the new barriers would not be in place until just before the Super Bowl next month.
You gotta be kidding me.
Had the new bollards been in place and deployed, could anyone have driven as far or as fast? Securing Bourbon Street.
That's pretty difficult to watch. There's just failure after failure after failure after failure everywhere. Let's see. Here we go. She didn't even know about him. I've seen these deployed. I've seen these. And the police chief didn't even know about them? Give me a break.
Actually, we have them. I didn't know about them, but we have them. Behind us is what we call hardening the target. So we have brought in heavy trucks. You will see when you go down Bourbon, you will see yellow, what we call archers, and they're along the sidewalk. And that would be to be preventive if someone had, or if this particular terrorist went around up on the sidewalk, that's what that would do, okay? It would slow that down for anyone who thought that they could breach our targets. And so those are some of the main differences we are done in the quarter. Also, you are going to see an incredibly large presence of police. And we are, though, confident, but we want our community to feel confident.
The large
and know
presence of
they
police
are
didn't hinder the
confidently
terrorist.
safe. And that's what we're going to do. So right now, I can declare to you that the Bourbon Street is open.
It's
Where
declared
did those
by
archers
Happy
come from?
Gilmore's grandma.
Sorry?
Those yellow archers, where did they come from?
Actually, we have them. I didn't know about them, but we have them. And so we have been able now to put them out.
Yellow archers, where did they come from?
Actually, we
Damn.
have.
So they had them all along. They had these things they could have put on the sidewalks to block. They had a failure in their security with the bollards. Happy Gilmore's grandma, they got as the police chief, and she don't even know what they have. Did she not go through, figure out, like, this is a different city. It's not like a regular city at all. Like, I don't know how else to describe New Orleans, but it's like being in a different country, kind of. So it's just crazy. Let's see, we got some more stuff here.
New Orleans Police Department says officials have identified the suspect who drove the truck. The suspect identified as Samshud Din Jabbar. Now, Jabbar was carrying a Glock pistol and a .308 rifle that had been reportedly stolen in New Jersey. The .308 rifle was equipped with an optics and/or suppressor. There are at least 4 or 5 other suspects involved. That's a big detail right there, identifying again the suspect as a Samshud Din Jabbar, but 4 or more individuals also involved. This is becoming a different story, Paul.
So they keep going back and forth on this. First they said that there were people involved, and then they're saying that there wasn't anybody involved. So they did finally release video of the Terry putting those coolers out that did have the IEDs. Now, the crazy part that I don't understand is, how does a cooler not get stolen in New Orleans? Everything gets stolen in New Orleans. You take your eye off something for a second and it gets stolen, especially on Bourbon Street. It's a beer cooler and nobody took it. Apparently people looked in it and may have seen the IEDs that were inside, but they didn't report anything to the police. I don't know why, but it doesn't make sense. But luckily, none of those went off. This could have been a lot worse. Here we go. Surveillance images of Bourbon Street terror suspect released by FBI. So this was before he drove the truck down Bourbon Street. This was when he was dropping those coolers off in the locations. Let's see. What do we got here? Just seeking information. Photos. So the photos were at 2 a.m, so that's about an hour and 15 minutes before he committed his attack. So here's the beer cooler. Like, those definitely would have been stolen. So it doesn't, that part just doesn't really make sense to me. See, like, here's some of the comments. Since when can an ice chest be left alone in New Orleans without somebody stealing it? Exactly. This comment needs to be pinned. Y'all know a homeless person would have rolled off with that ice chest. They're lying. Yeah, see, it kind of just doesn't make sense. Someone says, I don't believe anything the news or the city officials saying yesterday. They said they saw 3 men and a woman placing bombs all over. Now today they're saying he acted alone. If he got killed at 3 or 4 in the morning, who set the house on fire at 5 in the morning? The stories aren't adding up. And they had a lady on live saying that he had been staying in that Airbnb for months now. The stories aren't adding up. So who knows, really? The same thing with the Las Vegas bomber. So his body was apparently burned beyond recognition, but his passport was just fine and his ID was just fine. Now, how does that make sense? They're also saying that he suffered a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head before the truck blew up. So how does that make sense too? I just kind of want to point this out. We got some more info. So the original lady from the FBI, this lady here, she clearly was not doing a good job. So they brought somebody
At this
in from
point,
DC.
investigators
So
believe Jabbar picked up the rented F-150 in Houston, Texas on December 30th. He then drove from Houston to New Orleans on the evening of the 31st, and he posted several videos to an online platform proclaiming his support for ISIS. There were 5 videos posted on Jabbar's Facebook account, which are time-stamped beginning at 1:29 a.m. and the last at 3:02 a.m. In the first video, Jabbar explains he originally planned to harm his family and friends, but was concerned the news headlines would not focus on the, quote, war between the believers and the disbelievers, end quote. Additionally, he stated he had joined ISIS before this summer. He also provided a will and testament. At this point, investigators believe Jabbar picked up the rent.
So he joined ISIS before the summer. So I'm a kind of disappointed in the city of New Orleans and the state, especially with Governor Landry. They're so they were so adamant at the beginning to make sure that we knew that it was mostly locals who were injured for some reason. It was a lot of locals that were injured, and I thought that was kind of weird that they kept saying that. And then it clicked. They got the Sugar Bowl coming up, which they did end up having. It was supposed to be the 1st, but they had it last night or yesterday around 3. And then they got the Super Bowl coming up. Mardi Gras is right around the corner. So I think they're trying to make visitors, I guess, feel safer, I guess, by saying only locals got hurt, which to me just is very unempathetic to the whole situation. The governor's out there going, yeah, the Sugar Bowl's still happening, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you guys just literally had a terror attack on your city. And then they post videos like this. Good morning, New Orleans. This advertisement is on a whole nother level. I can't play the song because I'll get copyrighted, but this is them sterilizing and cleaning Bourbon Street after the terrorist attack. So, you know, they're like, oh, the French Quarter's open for business. You guys not realize that there was literally a terrorist attack? All they care about is their tourism dollars. All the comments I'm seeing on Twitter or X and on Reddit are like, well, what about the service industry people? Like, they need to make their money too. Yeah, New Orleans is a tourist city, but also there was a terrorist attack. Do they not like grasp the gravity of the situation? Anybody, the locals who were making those comments, the government, it's just like, quick, get back on track. And everybody's all talking about the spirit of New Orleans will never die and all this. Yeah, but maybe we all need to take a little break and kind of reflect, maybe figure out our security failures, maybe not have Happy Gilmore's grandma as a police chief? Just look at her record. Just look. I mean, I've gone over this when they were trying to find a new police chief. She might have been the best qualified for the job. I might have said it. I think I was saying, like, yeah, she's probably the best one. But come on, just look at it. She has experience in policing and consent decrees. That's not really a good thing now that I think about it. It's not good. Why are you used to leading during consent decrees? That's not a good reflection on a police force. She didn't know that they had these yellow things to put on the sidewalk to stop cars from mowing down people. They have those bollards and stuff and the little wedge ramp. Oh, but they were getting stuck because Mardi Gras beads were falling in it. Yeah, have somebody clean them out. Like, is there no like preventive maintenance on something that would have prevented a terrorist attack? That to me is probably the craziest thing. No preventive maintenance on something that would have prevented a terrorist attack in one of the most popular cities in the country. Like, it just make sense to me. Failures everywhere. Things don't add up. Also, why are they taking tours of his house? Like, the FBI already got all the evidence that they needed out of it in a day? That seems kind of weird. Like, that was pretty fast. Just a day. That's all it took. Now the owner's giving tours and stuff. They got people inside of it. Let's see if I can pull this up.
We have brought in heavy trucks.
That's the same one I showed you. Anyway, while I'm looking for this, it doesn't add up. And then, so you have a connection with the New Orleans thing and the Las Vegas thing. They both were stationed at Fort Bragg, I think. There we go. We got some stuff. This wasn't what I wanted to find. So this is just in. Allegedly, Cybertruck bomber texted his former girlfriend after he rented the vehicle days before the explosions. Let's read this. It's been wild, so much fun and learning. I rented a Tesla Cybertruck. It's the shit. I'm building drones in my new position. You would love it. Matches his shoes. I feel like Batman or Halo. Like, nothing about that seems like he's gonna go blow up anything. It's very... Things aren't adding up in both of these situations. Like, where are those other suspects from the New Orleans bombing that they were saying there was 3 to 4 accomplices? What happened with that? All they said was, no, he acted alone. They didn't say, like, oh, but these people who we thought were suspects we interviewed and, you know, it was something else. They just looked in the coolers. They didn't give any information like that. Very disappointing. Anyway, I should have saved it. But it's on here. They were given tours. I just saw it on my phone. God, so many things get posted on X at 4 in the morning, you know? Anyway, I didn't save it, but I know I'm getting close because I remember some of these. An hour ago. Ice cream. I don't know. But anyway, they were giving tours of the house. There was like a Quran open to some passage. I don't know if that was set up by the FBI or by whoever is giving these tours. There's also a, quote, bomb making station set up I'm not sure exactly what that means. Is that like just a table? Like what exactly is a bomb making station? They have. It's just weird. It's weirdly like set up. It's weirdly like, I don't know. It seems like staged. It's very, very strange. Like, why are they giving tours of a crime scene already? Why did they go and hurry up and clean up that crime scene on Bourbon Street to get it open? I saw the mayor coming out all excited. We recovered the victims finally, so now we're gonna sanitize and get Bourbon Street back on action. It's like, dude, just to have a little tact in the situation. It's very strange. What's this? Breaking massive FBI cover-up unfolding now. Developing cover-up on what though? I mean, I see 2 cover-ups going on. Here it is. Boom, found it. All right, here's the tour of the house.
You can see that it's been clearly destroyed, the door at least, from the FBI raid yesterday. But if we walk through the home, we see some signs of what he was up to. He had this work area here, lots of different chemicals.
So here's the bomb making area. It's literally a desk with some computers.
Electronics. This is again a work setup.
This is a trailer, mind you.
Just very unkempt.
Double wide looks like.
If we go over here, actually, you can see the Department of Justice documents here, the search warrant.
Like, this seems so
and
staged.
The property that they recorded here, which seems to be a lot of chemicals.
This is
Again,
really staged.
Just left in disarray. There's a bedroom back here, and his, what appears to be his collection of religious materials, his Qurans, an open Quran with a passage there, as well as even the Bible here, but mostly books on Islam, and his prayer rug just to the left of me here. And if we go back,
Where?
there's another bedroom here.
And even show it.
Left all these belongings, contact lenses, personal belongings, bathroom. This seems to be some sort of workspace, again, with other chemicals here. The light's still on. Some kind of station set up here. We're not really sure what that was for. In, what we can assume was also a bedroom. You can see clothes left here, and just a sign that someone was here up until
He's got his little
little
scarf there.
He left just before the New Year's holiday, saying he was done with his lease. It was up, and he was on his way to New Orleans, where he would live there. Didn't take any furniture because he said his new home would be furnished. That's all we know so far.
His new home would be furnished, huh? Anyway, yeah, so like it doesn't make sense. How, like it's, and we're gonna do a tour of the terrorist house one day after the FBI processed the evidence. How did they do it so quick?
From the FBI raid yesterday.
Yeah.
But
Burt Macklin, FBI. Why are you allowed to walk in around in a crime scene? Exactly. Like, the FBI literally seized a U.S. Capitol Lego set from a January 6th defendant. But they left the Quran open to a passage about martyrdom next to the bomb-making station, sitting in the terrorist's apartment. See, like, it doesn't make sense. Although they did say that he was not on the radar, somehow. They're too busy going after people going to like school board meetings and stuff and labeling people like me, just regular people, domestic terrorists for, believing in freedom. And they had their focus on just regular Americans, and you have people like Shamshar, whatever, Jabbar, sounding like a Key and Peele sketch name, committing acts of terror in my city. It's pretty fucked up, if I, say it. I mean, it's just the incompetence of the government, the administration we have right now, as well as the city and state administration in New Orleans. It's just laughable. It's just laughable. But people are cheering it on. It doesn't make sense to me. Does not make sense to me at all. Anyway, guys, make sure you follow me everywhere. Click the link tree. Follow me on Rumble. I got an Odyssey. Make sure you follow me on X. You know, bring in the spice. Bring in the spice. Oh yeah, here we go. Washington Post tells us that just a truck drove into the New Orleans crowd all by itself. I don't know how it happened. The truck with the ISIS flag on it just rammed into everybody. Nobody was driving it. Yep, I'm a journalist. There you go. Here we go. The suspect in yesterday's attack on Bourbon Street in New Orleans and Trump Tower in Las Vegas both served at Fort Bragg, the same military base Ryan Routh visited over 100 times before attempting to take Donald Trump's life. Been some other crazy stuff about Fort Bragg. You guys should look into that when you got some time. When I got some more time, maybe we can do a deep dive into all the crazy stuff that's come out of Fort Bragg. But follow me everywhere. You guys are feeling real savvy. You could donate to the channel, but I know times are rough right now. We just got done with Christmas. So there we go, folks. More incompetence in New Orleans. This whole thing, I feel, could have been prevented had the city of New Orleans not taken their whole, live and let live kind of mentality and, clean up the tracks on the bollards, have somebody doing preventive maintenance on things that will stop terrorist attacks. And, maybe the police chief will take better inventory on the tools that they have. She didn't even know about those big Archer blocks that would have prevented this as well. So there you go. It's a crazy one out there, y'all. Please remember to stay well regulated. It's crazy. We got Terry's coming in, doing all their Terry stuff, so please stay well regulated. I hear the baby getting up, so it's time for me to go. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.